heads up to this sort of mad world. It's a mad world. It's a 5-minute quickie that lasts over 12 minutes. And I think you'll notice I am in a different energy space. And I think you'll find there's some useful little things you can start thinking about. Because when you think about things in the right way, life will answer the things that you're thinking about, because your thoughts are questions. And if you think about things in the right way and ask things in the right way, you are going to create wonders. Do have a listen.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hello again this fine day. If you're sitting down, why don't you just sit down for a spell? Or maybe just hang around for a change. That's hypnotic. That's hypnotic talk for you. It works well, doesn't it? Hey, it's Paul here, Paul Clough, Personal Development Unplugged. Hopefully making some complicated things that people make so complicated and get up their ass to simple ways that we can just create the life we want. Now, I was talking yesterday about real, well, it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before, I think, real or imagined, where your unconscious mind doesn't really get which is real or which is imagined. And I gave you that little demonstration of moving your body. And the thing is, we also mentioned Deepak Chopra, I believe, where I was saying your unconscious mind eardrops, listens in on your internal voice. Well, also, I believe your unconscious mind always answers your questions. Normally, though, we ask bonky questions. Bonky questions is a very technical NLP Cluffy type term, because bonky means, to me, they're daft. Or they're not daft. If you thought about them, you wouldn't ask them. It's like, I'm a little bit fearful. I wonder what would happen if it all went wrong. Now, that's not a good question. I'm really big on questions, but not that type of question. Because if your unconscious mind is listening in, it goes, do you know what? I can answer that one. I'll go back through all our memories, find out all the type of things that it could go wrong, how it could go wrong, double it up just to make sure that you don't do something, because I want to protect you. So I'll double up the fear, double up the panic, or double up the whatever the negative emotion is that you're worried about. And then you start to think it. And then because you're thinking it consciously, you spin it out worse. And then your unconscious mind picks it up again. And then life seems to happen just the way you imagine it. Sometimes not as bad as you imagined, but it's not the most happiest place to be if you're imagining negative things, which means life, the outside, supposed reality, ping pong, is matching your thoughts, and your thoughts are your questions. So what would happen, though, if you asked unbonky questions? Unbonky questions would be, if I was preparing for something, say preparing for a client, and this is what I do actually, I share it with you, don't tell any other hypnotherapists because they might start doing it and get brilliant results like me. But I ask a question and say, well, what would it be like if I was able to use all my skills, all the skills I've learned up to now, every bit of skill, everything in hypnosis, NLP, timeline therapy, every other thing I've learned, and I could have them unconsciously and consciously whenever I need them with this client to get what this client wants and more, and I normally name the client, and do it all within 60 minutes to enjoy the process and to continue to learn. So those learnings will be available to me the next time whenever I need them. I wonder what that would be like. This or something better. Now, quite a long question really, isn't it? But it just rolls. I used to write that down, but now it just rolls off the tip of my tongue. And it doesn't matter if I get it quite right or wrong. My intention is there. My intention of the question is positive. And guess what? I get awesome results. And I'm going to quickly read one to you. I got a text. Where is it? Yeah, I got a text from a person I work with on Monday. And I was just saying we're catching up, a bit of feedback. and came back, "Hi Paul, I've been meaning to contact you. I'm feeling great, thank you. Really, really good. You are amazing, a magician." There you go. That's what I am, a magician. But the thing is, the client did all that themselves. But the thing is, I asked myself that type of question before I did the work, and it just seems to happen that way. So you never know. If you're feeling anxious, and I always keep telling people to go and get some professional help. Loads of great therapists around. If you want, a little plug from me, why don't you come and ask me, and we can work online. No problem whatsoever. I'll give you a little bit about that at the end of the show. But the other thing is, asking right questions really means setting your intention, doesn't it? Setting your intention for what you want or what you're going to do and the result that you want, not the result you don't want. So it's not a case of, I don't want it to go wrong, because what's the first thing you think about? It going wrong. I want it to go right. I want it to, and how do I want to feel? And that's the best thing, I think. How do I want to feel going through this? What do I want to learn? How do I want to be? You ask your right question that way. Your unconscious mind is always listening, especially if you make a picture of it. Crikey, if you were to make a picture of it going right as well, seeing yourself doing it and being it just the way you want it, and getting that feeling of the wish fulfilled, that feeling of it happening, gee whiz, your unconscious mind will step up to the plate and beat your imagination. I know it will, because it doesn't know which is real or imagined, but it will create the reality what you're thinking, because it just happens. Trust me, I'm a magician. But the thing is, think about it. You've got plenty of time. Well, maybe you've got plenty of time. I find at this moment in time, in this area of madness, I've been working my blooming socks off. But I think, having worked my blooming socks off for the last week or so, a lot of jobs have been done. I'm getting a bit of energy back because I was absolutely knackered. But now I can now start to do other stuff. I think you might have noticed on the last couple of podcasts, my pronunciation and things like that was getting really bad. I was getting upset about it, but I still put the show out because I just had to get it out. And if you do catch me pronouncing, not doing my words properly, please do let me know. Feedback at personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. I love your feedback. What you like. Pick me up on these little things, because I need to improve. I love improving. So any criticism like that would be constructive for me. So I think you've got plenty of time. You'll find time in this time. And we're going to say this is a time of opportunity. Now, don't beat yourself up if you're not doing that at the moment. I know you will. It's a matter of getting used to this time. But when you start looking at these opportunities, remember those roles? We're going to look at goals and how we're going to start setting these new things going, all in the plan of some of these episodes to come. But each one, maybe just doing a plan of what you're going to do. Set your intention. What would it be like to organise my work in such a way that I'll enjoy doing the work and I'll enjoy doing the plan, and then learn from it so I can use it the next time I plan. What would that be like? This or something better. Boom. You've set your intention. You've maybe, even as you say that and you're trying to think of the words, you're seeing yourself do it. There you go. Now, you can tell, I think, that on the last talking episode I had, my enunciation was very good. I wasn't as high as this. I'm not high, by the way, but I'm more energized at the moment, which is really good. Now, the thing is, some people on their projects, their side hustles, the things they're going to do, you might try to keep it and hide it under a bushel. And I'm going to say, please don't. Why not? Because you deserve to share your stuff to the world. Even if the world is just your family, and then the family and friends, and then the friends outside. And let them see your work. Show them your work, the things you're doing. Because two things will happen. One is you'll feel good about it. I tell you, you will. You'll be frightened to start off with. Frightened and a little bit anxious. What are they going to say? But you'll enjoy it. You'll get a great buzz out of showing what you do, because they won't realise how good you are. They won't realise what you're striving to do. And because every time you've done a part of your project, you've set your intention, you've asked the right questions, life will then create the reality you want, because it's answering your questions. You'll get some great feedback and you'll get encouragement. And the other thing is, then you are setting an example to everyone around. You're setting that example to say, this is what I can do, you can do it too. And as a little plug, and all these plugs I'm giving to different people, books and things, I get nothing for this, by the way. It's just my books. I'm looking at my library. But there's a great book about 10 ways, it says, 10 ways to share your creativity and get discovered. It's called Show Your Work, ! It's by, get your enunciation right, Cluffy, by a guy called Austin Kleon. And that's Austin. And then the surname is Kleon. Austin Kleon. Show Your Work. It's tiny, well, not a tiny little book. It's got, I don't know how many pages. 200? I didn't realise. 200 pages. But it's about, 5 inches square. And it's in my favourite colour, yellow. If a book is yellow, I tend to buy it. It's a great read. Great read. He has another one called Steal Like an Artist. Awesome. You have to get them. Well, you don't have to, but I would. Because if you're just, and when I say artist, you don't have to be an artist, i.e. drawing. You could be writing. You could be woodworking. You could be doing anything that is creative. If you're doing anything, just a little bit of an iota near creating things, you are an artist. Show your work. And let's create a world showing everyone. Because when people are creative, they get into it. And that means just things happen because your intention spreads. A bit like this bloody old virus that's going around. You set off this virus of intention, good intentions, like that old butterfly flapping. We're going to create that storm of wonder. Not Stevie Wonder, Storm of Wonder. I don't know where I went with that. Enjoy. I'll give you a little outro about working with me if you want to. Something to think about. If nothing else, send me an email if you're just thinking about working with somebody one-to-one, and I'll give you some advice about what type of questions to ask. Okay? Or if I think it's a good move, what you're going to do. If I can help you, I will. That email address is feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. Okay, I'm off. Share this right now if you would. Share it. And if you haven't subscribed, God, you better, because they're coming out fast and furiously now. And I know you haven't, but if you would, how about sending a review? A review on Castbox or iTunes, or is it whatever iTunes is now calling itself? That'd be awesome if you did, because you can right now. Anyway, after this one. See you in a bit. Bye. If you're suffering from things like anger, excessive anger in your life, too much sadness that keeps recurring and recurring, fear of anything, or just grieving too much about loss, maybe you're jealous, or maybe your self-confidence it's never high enough, or like your self-esteem, that's never high enough, and it should be, and you shouldn't have to suffer through anger, sadness, fear, grief, jealousy. Do you know what? I hadn't thought about this for a little while, but why don't you come and work with me? Because, I've told you before that I work online, I do coaching, I do therapy online, but I've never really thought about offering it directly to you. So why not? Don't listen to what other people say when they say, things take such a long time, because they don't. 2-3 sessions is generally all that's needed to get rid of some of the biggest problems in people's lives. I see it day in, day out with my clients. So if that's something you can consider, because I do know this, that we always put things off. We put things off, and then we'll go to that bit where we go, oh, if only I did. So here's the thing. Imagine that putting off has gone by, and you've decided to send me an email. An email at feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com saying, hi Paul, I've got this issue. I'd like to work with you, and here's my telephone number, here's my email address. And the thing is, what would happen is we get in contact over the internet, online. We do an initial consultation. It doesn't take very long to make sure that we're a good fit and make sure you're really comfortable with me. I know you've listened to me a lot, but you really want to see the whites of my eyes, and let me explain how we work together. And if that is right, and it's right for you, and I want to make sure it's right for you, I don't work with just anybody and everybody, only the people who I feel I can really help. Then we'll organise 2 or 3 sessions and get the thing sorted. Okay? So why not send me that email now? Don't think any longer. Stop. Get online. Give me an email. And let's do some work together. If you really are interested in making deep changes, I really always suggest one-to-one. Yes, this Personal Development Unplugged podcast gives you all the tools, but let's get rid of the deep underlying issues so you can really make use of all the tools here. Anyway, that's enough from me. If you want it and you want to let go of that stuff really quickly, and you like me, and you like to work with me, then send me that email. If it's not for you, that's fine. Just keep listening and keep sharing. Okay? Anyway, I'll hear from you real soon, I'm sure. See you now.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.